Hey there everyone, Gamer Dad here. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. This is actually going to be like the 5th installment for the Nintendo News of the Week. And I have a lot of different news to be able to give you that happened this week. We got brand new sales numbers for Nintendo. We got a release date finally for Mina the Holler. We got that Star Fox Direct that actually released this, well, it was like shadow dropped just yesterday. And so much more to go over, and I really want to bring this all to you. So if you do like this kind of content, I ask that you just please do throw a like on this video. And without any further ado, let's get right into the video for the Nintendo News of the Week.
Nintendo News of the Week! Hear all about it!
Well, Nintendo actually just had their, their quarterly earnings report or yearly earnings report, whatever it was, and so they actually released all their sales data, and so we know that as of now, for the first 10 months of the Switch 2 life cycle, it has sold a whopping 19.86 million units. That actually makes it the best-selling console of all time. There's no console out there that has sold this many units this quickly. So to all the haters out there saying, oh, the Switch 2 is failing and everything, it is not. These sales numbers proves them to be false, and I don't want to use the word liars, but just trying to spin their own narrative. So just don't feel bad about anything for the sales numbers of the Switch 2. Now, actually, for the Switch 1, this is actually even just as equally exciting, is the fact that it has now crossed 155 million units. It's actually almost up there to 156. And this puts it just 5 million units short of the all-time record for the best-selling console of ever of all time. The record holder is for the PlayStation 2 at 160 million units. So this is creeping up there, and it just recently passed the Nintendo DS for sales. I think it had 154 million units, so this makes it the best-selling Nintendo console of all time. So that is actually something very exciting. Now, is it going to reach that milestone and to become the very the top of for the new record holder? Only time will tell. It's still making sales that are creeping along, just getting pushed along by the Switch 2, I guess. But we have good things to look forward to from Nintendo. The next bit of news that we actually have to go over was that Nintendo actually released some information about a brand new Nintendo Switch 2 bundle that they are actually going to be coming out with. But the caveat is it's only going to be available in Australia and New Zealand. And so it's actually going to be a bundle that's going to be including Pokopia. I don't really like the fact that all of these bundles, when they include a game, they don't actually include a physical game. All they are including is just essentially a code in the box. And I don't know, if I'm spending all that money, I want to have something physical to hold in my hand to go through and I don't know, kind of justify my purchase, not a little piece of cardboard. Comment down below if you feel the same way, or maybe you just don't even care. But that's just something that kind of just jumps out to me about all these bundled prices. And so the actual, how much is this going to cost you? For $769.95 for AUD, and then $869.95 for the New Zealand dollars. And I know it sounds a lot, but that's just the currency exchange rate. It's still equivalent to what we would pay here in the States, but just the money difference, or the difference in the monetary value. That's what I was looking for. That's coming into play. That's why it seems like it's so much more expensive. something else that actually came out for this week was they announced that there is going to be a combo pack coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 for it's Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure as a combo pack. I did a video, or a short little video about that. So if you want to, you can go through and check it out on the shorts. But the problem with it is the fact that on the Nintendo Switch 2, it will be a game key card. So that a lot of people are kind of upset about that, about why it has to be a game key card, especially with the varying cart sizes coming out now. So they're like, was this just too much? Is that why it had to be on the game key card? But just people are very upset about that. So, but according to what it's going to be on for P&P Games, it's going to be for $73.99. And I will actually include the link down below for that if that you so choose that you want to get it. I know that's a lot cheaper than if you were to actually try to get those games individually on the Switch. And so I think each one, if you're wanting to get them on the Switch, is like $65 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know I had the links for getting them individually from VGP actually on my shorts video. So like, go ahead and check that out if you're actually looking for trying to get those games for the Switch. I know that they're kind of sought after, and they just got a reprint there, so you can actually pick those up there. Now, not everything news related in the world of Nintendo is all rainbows and puppy dogs. There is some bad news that actually came out this week as well. It came out with the investors, not exactly with the investors, like with the sales numbers, but it came out roughly around the same timeline. It's about the actual Nintendo investors, because the stocks are just not doing very well. They're wanting for the Nintendo Switch 2 to have a price increase. Well, Nintendo has officially said that they will be doing a price increase. The price is going to be increasing from $450 up to $500. So $50 more, which isn't bad as far as for a price increase. Most of the other price increases that you've seen from other consoles they're going up for like $100. So 50 isn't bad, but it's still kind of bad. We kind of hate to see it. We've had rumors and people have been talking about it coming down the pipe, but now it's official that it will be coming, and it will be taken into effect on September 1st. So if you were wanting to get a Switch 2, now is the time to do it just before September hits, to be able to get it in at this lower price. So that's just something for y'all to be aware of. Now, something else that I want to do before I get into any more of like the leaks and the rumors is I've done a video saying that I want to be able to shout out for all of you, for all the subscribers, new and old, and just to be able to thank you all personally, to know how much you all mean to me. And so I have a list here of, these are people who have subscribed to the channel. And so if you actually want to get your name shouted out in a future video, do comment down below that you have subscribed to the channel, what it is that you like about the channel, maybe even the video that made you want to subscribe to the channel. I really actually do enjoy reading the comments and knowing that what it is that I'm doing is kind of making a difference, making your life just even a little bit better. That truly means the world to me. So for the list I actually have here, so we have for, I guess I have to read it off, for Miss Game & Watch, then there's LJ Boogie 4497, Pop Retro Gaming 81, John Johnny 2905, Switch Addiction, and 90s Handheld Gamer. And yes, one part of the reason why I want people to comment down below that they have subscribed, because it kind of gives me the permission to be able to say your name here on thing, because I really don't want to say someone's name like, oh, I didn't want you to shout me out. So that's also part of the reason why. And part of the other reason is not every single person that subscribes, it doesn't show me like their name that I have that subscriber. Just the count just goes up. and it won't actually say a new subscriber. So this is so I can actually know who you are and to be able to thank you personally for everything that you just do for me. And so if you are someone new and you haven't subscribed, go ahead, subscribe now down below, like hit that subscribe button, comment that you subscribed, and you can get your shout out in a future video. I mean, what's better than that? And if you do like this kind of content, throw a like on it, share it, hype it up. It all helps me out like tremendously, and I can't thank you all enough for just everything that you do for me. So with that out of the way, we're gonna get right back into this video. So now we are actually moving into the leaks and the rumors of this portion of for the news of the week. And so for these leaks and rumors, the first one that we actually have, piggybacking off the Pokopia bundle, is that there is actually a rumor for brand new DLC that is going to be coming to Pokopia. And it isn't just like a little up, like the rumor is not just like a little bit for the DLC. This is actually kind of expansive. So now whether or not it's going to be like one giant DLC bundle or if it's going to be trickled out like individually, we don't exactly know that yet. But the rumor is saying that there's going to be 5 new regions like introduced for you to actually repair and to bring them back to their glory days, with tons of new Pokemon to be able to find and items, and just it's essentially almost like doubling the game. So that would actually be a massive DLC. And so, but it's got people worried because they're like, there's so much to do. I am lost on what to do right now. And if you're going to be doubling what it is that I have to do, like how overwhelming that's going to be. And trust me, I've played it. I understand where you are coming from. There was a lot to be going on like for this game. I mean, it's already got tons of hours, and this is going to be putting it like, it's probably going to surpass Animal Crossings in my mind for just everything that you can do, like more like Minecraft as far as like what you can build and how the customization that you can actually have. So, and then the very next, actually, nope, before I move on, I will say the 5 regions that they actually have, because they're based off of the Kanto like areas. So there's a burning forest, the flooded city, the dead volcano island, the decaying tower, and a giant crater. So those are the 5 regions that are rumored to be coming. And the very next actually leak rumor was actually one that was actually released by My Nintendo News. And so it's concerning Persona 4 Revival. And so according to them, they say that the revival is actually due to be completed like by the end of August of this year to be released early 2027. Now, I actually really do enjoy the Persona series. Persona 5 is like one of my top favorite games of all time. I mean, there's a reason I have the standard edition and the collector's edition and the steelbook edition, and I have a figure here for Panther and everything else about for that game. I just really greatly enjoyed playing it, and it's like fell in love with it because I hadn't played a Persona game before. That was like my very first one. I mean, and then I played Raito, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. If you haven't played those games, I highly recommend you to go pick those games out and go play them, and I guarantee you will have a fun time if you're an RPG fan like I am. There's just so much to do. And so here with Persona 4, and I actually really looking forward to being able to play it. I was bummed because before, to be able to get it on the Switch, it was just like through the limited run. And whenever it was, I wanted to try to get a version to be able to play it. It was always sold out. Even when people got a limited restock in, it sold out like instantly before I had a chance to be able to get it. So I missed out on that. That's also another reason why I was happy for when Persona 3 Reload came out for the Switch too. Now, I don't know if this, like all the systems that is going to be coming out, if it will be coming out for the Switch and the Switch 2 or one or the other. It actually wasn't in the article. I actually really hope it does come to the Switch 2. Unfortunately, I think if it does, it's probably going to come as a game key card. So a lot of people won't be happy about that. Maybe the Switch will be able to play it. I don't know. We'll just have to see, like, whenever it is that, because right now it's just a rumor. So we'll see if this actually comes to fruition and we get confirmation about this or not. But it's still something exciting to hear about and want to hear or relate this to you in case you are a Persona fan. And hey, if you are a Persona fan and you do like that rumor and it interests you and you hope it to be real, comment down below that you're excited for this, like just to even hear the rumor. Now, moving along, we actually have a couple of confirmations for things that actually happened. The first one was actually for Mina the Hollower. I announced in the I don't remember which Nintendo News video it was. I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before that. But it was actually released when Yacht Club Games said that it was gone golden. And so that it was fully completed and would be getting a release date soon. Well, this week, we got the release date. And the release date, we don't have to wait very long. It's coming out at the end of the month here on May the 29th. And so just a couple more weeks to wait for this game. I mean, it was originally supposed to come out in Halloween of last year, but then it got pushed back for different things, trying to make the game better, held off indefinitely. And so I'm actually really excited, looking forward to playing this game. The demo was spectacular, just really hyped me up. The sounds for the music and the gameplay really just brings you right back to the Super Nintendo days. So I'm actually just, again, really looking forward to this game. And if you are too, comment down below that you're actually waiting and excited for this game. And then we got the shadow drop for the Direct for Star Fox. It had been rumored. People were talking about it. Mainly like Nate the Hate saying that it was coming out. And he was saying that it was going to come out in April. And then when it didn't, everyone gave him grief. And they were all about, like, just questioning everything about him. The guy can get 99 things right. Then he gets one thing wrong, and everyone just jumps on him and says, oh, you're not credible, and everything else, which I just think is completely ridiculous. But that's just the way the world works. And so I think some people owe him some apologies because we got it. It's coming out. And what it actually is going to be not even a remake. It's like a remake for Star Fox 64. So this is going to be our fourth introduction to Star Fox 64. Because there was Star Fox 64. Then there was the one that came out for the DS. And then, like, what was it? Star Fox Zero. And so now we have it's just going to be called Star Fox. But the graphics on it looked spectacular. It's got, like, the voice acting, added cutscenes, and everything that they're adding into this game is making it almost like a brand new game. So, like, I don't know if it's exactly from the ground up remake, because they still said that the stages were basically the same, but the graphics and everything was all updated. Now, speaking of the graphics, this is actually getting a lot of hate. Like, a lot of people are, like, upset about it, for like the character designs. And I see that, but the only one that actually gave me like any, like, that I was just kind of upset about, oh, that might be a strong word. It just irked me there. I really didn't like the way they made Star Fox look. They made him look way too much like a fox. If they had kept his design more so like for the Mario Galaxy movie, I think it would have gone over so much better. I mean, not even just for me, but I think a lot of people wouldn't have had so many issues with it. That's just a me thing. Maybe if you've seen the Direct, and comment down below, what do you think of, like, the way they made the characters look? I'm actually really interested to see if there's people who don't mind it. People are like, oh my god, I hate the way that these look. So, and we can have a discussion about that. And I mean, because there is a discussion to be had there, or to be had there. I'm speaking the wrong words. But so then the very next thing we actually had for, or a lot of people don't even actually know about this, but if you remember me talking about for Minishoot Adventures, this was going to be Super Rare Games' very first Nintendo Switch 2 game that they are actually going to be releasing. And not only that, it is actually the second game that has actually been confirmed to be coming out with the smaller cart sizes. So that's going to make it very sought after. But the numbers, we didn't actually know how many were going to be released through Super Rare Games. Well, they've said that they are actually going to be doing a grand total of 5,000 standard edition copies, as well as 2,000 for the special editions. So once those are gone, they're gone. And I just have a feeling that if you miss out on this, if you want to pick it up later, you're probably going to end up paying a lot. That's just my take. Don't be like, I don't want to be trying to give you like financial advice, like saying, okay, go out and buy like 5 copies of this and hoard them, and go out and try to scalp people and try to sell them for like jacked up prices or anything else. This is just what I'm saying. If you are interested in getting this, you might want to go ahead and pick it up, and I will actually include the link down below for this. So for you to actually be able to get this if you were so interested into it. Now moving along to the games that actually released this week. Now, not everyone knows about this, but it was Golden Week in Japan. I don't really know why that would affect games coming out here in America, but it just seems like it did, because for the games for this week, there really are not that many. There's like a grand total of 2 games that we're releasing this week. And so the first one was Taito Milestones 4. And this is actually a compilation for, I know I have it here. This is actually going to be a compilation of 10 games from Taito. Haven't gotten any of the Taito Milestones, so I don't know how great they are. But the games that they actually have on here is for Arkanoid, The Ninja Kids, Camel Tree, Don Doko Don, Sylvalion, Bond's Adventure, Typhoon Gal, Kuri Kenton, Water Ski, and Field Day. Just a compilation of those 10 games are going to be in there on it. So if you're actually collecting the Taito Milestones games, go out there and try to look for it. I will include the link down below for that, as well as for the very next game that we actually have that was releasing this week in North America was for Harvest Moon, The Winds of Anthos Complete Edition. Now, this is actually a very well-regarded farming sim. It's got tons to do with, like, for farming, for being able to take care of your livestock, building relationships, and the story is actually you're supposed to be reviving a harvest goddess by reconnecting the cities and the towns after a volcano eruption. So, and I just know that it's gotten a lot of positive feedback for it, and saying this is like one of the better Harvest Moon games ever since the split off with Story of Seasons. And so just to be able to put that on y'all's radar, I will include this down below if this is something that you're actually choosing that you want to be able to pick up as well. And so that's it. The only other thing that actually came out for this week for games was for you to be able to pre-order some games, and one was from Super Rare Games. It's for Home Safety Hotline. And actually what it is you're playing that you are a phone operator, and people are calling in and they're describing things that are going on inside their house. And you're supposed to be able to listen to and try to identify correctly what it is that's in the house. And so if you choose wrong, bad things happen. And I guess if good things happen if you guess correctly. I don't know. I've heard that it's actually a pretty well-regarded game. Got some positive reviews. I haven't played it myself. And just other thing I did here is that it was on the shorter side, and so I will include the link for this. It's for $42.02 there at Super Rare Games. So, and the very next only other thing that you can actually do is for a limited run game that you can pre-order, and it's for the Rugrats Retro Rewind Collection. Wow, try saying that one 4 times fast. But so it's just a compilation for classic Rugrats games. I remember watching the Rugrats back in the day of the cartoon series, like this show. I went to the movie theaters and saw the movies in theaters. So yes, I am that old, and I remember the very first episode. But that's neither here nor there. But I did not play these games. This isn't anything that really interests me. But maybe it interests you. Maybe it's something nostalgic for you. Maybe you remember playing these games back in the day. And it's actually for $34.99. And I will include the link down below for this if you want to pre-order it from Limited Run Games. And so, takes us to the deals of the week.
Deals of the week.
Now, the deals of the week was, I've actually talked about the past 2 weeks. So that Walmart and Amazon are both giving the comparable pricing that Nintendo is doing between their physical and the digital games, where the digital games are cheaper than the physical games, and by $10. Well, Walmart and Amazon are they're just putting the physical pricing at that digital price. So you can save yourself $10 by pre-ordering the games there at Amazon and Walmart. Now, it's only select games. So the 2 weeks that I've introduced this before was for Splatoon Raiders and Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Well, now they've actually added in Star Fox. So, excuse me, I have actually checked the links for both of those sites to make sure that it is actually indeed still going on. And as of the time of this recording, it is available and working for you to be able to pick them up. I just typed in, for Walmart, I just typed in Walmart, Star Fox, Nintendo Switch 2, and brought it right up. Did the same thing for Amazon, just Amazon, Nintendo Switch 2, Star Fox, and brought it up. But the price was hidden until you actually click the pre-order. Then it brings you to the checkout lane, and then it says the price for it. So just so you know, if you're going looking, you can't see the price on it. That's why it shows up when you go to checkout. I don't know if I've explained that in the past. That's how you do it. And the very next, the actual really good deals is that for this weekend, they are actually doing at VGP, you get double the points. So whenever you order anything from VGP, they get points. And whenever you get a certain number of points, you can cash those points in for a discount coupon. So you can get there for cheaper. And actually, what I have for y'all was for Little Gator Game, Gator of the Year. And so you can actually get it there at VGP for $29.64. And previously, this was a game that was only released through Super Rare Games, and it got so much hype, and people were wanting this game. The pricing for it got to around $100 for trying to get this game. Well, this is that game plus all of the DLC that has been released up to date, all on the cartridge. So that's actually a pretty darn good deal. And the very next game they actually have that I put on there was for the Good Old Days, and it's only going to cost you for $21.99. And so this is actually a Metroidvania. The graphical style for it isn't anything all that elaborate. Really brings you back to 90s days, and it's actually almost the story is basically like the Goonies. So I'm a big Goonies fan. I actually watched that VHS tape to death. So you don't really need to know about that. But hey, if you're a Goonies fan, you might be interested in getting this game. And so I will include the links down below for this and for the Gator game. And no, I'm not an affiliate. I do not get any like kickbacks for that, although I wish I did. But this is all just for you to be able to take advantage of it, to add those games to your collection and take advantage of that sale, because I don't know when those sales will actually be on or will be over. And the very last thing to actually do for these videos is the pick of the week. So this was a rough week for me at work. It's Mother's Day. I'm a delivery driver, so I'm going through and doing a lot more deliveries than I typically do, and I'm tired and beat, and I need something to kind of just chill, relax, turn my brain off. And so the pick of the week that I actually am choosing is for Harvest Moon, the Winds of good Lord, Winds of Anthros. I wanted to say Andros. I am still thinking about Star Fox. But so that is actually going to be my pick of the week. And so I will probably actually be pre-ordering this or getting this game. So with that out of the way, another video in the books. Thank you so much again for joining me, especially if you're still here. I really can't thank you all enough. And so I really do hope you enjoy this video. A lot of work and everything has to actually go into this to make it work. And so I really thank you for putting up with my rantings and everything else for this. And just so, have a great day, great night. God bless you all. I'll see you all next time.